the last one that was the most popular in terms of requests. It deals with your grandfather clocks and the pendulum that swings underneath them. So if that pendulum is swinging to give us a period of 0.95 seconds is what was provided in the problem, that particular pendulum isn't really swinging at the right time intervals, right? This is running a little bit slow. Your clock will be a few minutes behind because every second it missed 5/10 of a second, or 5/10 of a minute, I should say. No, of a second. So in this particular case, you want to get this value to 1. You want the period of that pendulum to be exactly 1.0 seconds. This is a little bit low. So what do you have to do to it? There are 2 ways to do it. I'll show you the long way, and then I'll just briefly talk about the easier way to solve it when you get to the actual mini test that is on the Edmodo page. So what you need to do is find out what the length of the pendulum is currently, because that current length is a little bit on the too long or too short side. So here's my rearranged version of the equation. Still period of the pendulum, but rearranged to find length. Again, you'll find it on the answer key. Sorry, not answer key, the study guide at the end of the packet. So you need to find out what that current length of this pendulum is going to be. Length would be 0.95, sorry, the period 0.95. You're going to square that, multiply by 10, and then in your denominator, be careful down here. I encourage you guys to use parentheses. It is 4 multiplied by pi squared in the denominator. A lot of times people will just hit divide by 4 and then multiply by pi squared, and the calculator will divide by 4, then multiply the whole quotient by pi squared, making the value larger. It shouldn't be. In fact, if you want to do 4 pi squared first and then just divide by whatever that product is, go for it. That's another way around this particular problem. But this works out to be, what is it, 22.8 centimeters, so 0.228 meters. And that winds up not being exactly what it is, the proper length, right? It's running too slow. You need to extend this so that you get a little bit more time for your pendulum swinging. In order to figure out what time you should use, you literally do the equation again. And in this case, you swap out that period with what the period should be, 1.0. You'll get your new length, and it'll basically tell you whether or not you need to extend or shorten that particular pendulum. In this case, when you do 1.0 squared multiplied by 10 divided by 4 pi squared, you're going to get a value of 25.3 centimeters. So you've got to extend it so that you now have a new length of 25.3. Remember, if you want a longer period, you're going to need a longer length of pendulum, a longer string. That's what we should have got from the lab, and that's what's going to be on the quiz and mini test at the very least. There won't be one where you have to find out, well, extend it by 2 centimeters or something like that. I'll simply ask you, should you extend it or should you shorten it? If you want a longer period, you need a longer pendulum. That's it.